Cooke lenses are considered to be the premium standard in Hollywood cinema. Their unrivaled look is why they have been used time and again on award-winning films. Recent films have also been using vintage Cooke lenses, the Speed Panchro series, to soften high-resolution digital camera sensors. These lenses still come at a premium though, ranging from $3,000 in their unrehoused form, $8,000 for a rehoused copy, or more than $12,000 for one Panchro iClassic lens. Shooting on a smaller format camera, like Micro Four Thirds, does bring another option. There exists a line of Cooke lenses called Kinetals, which are alleged to have the same look as a Series II Cooke Speed Panchro for sometimes less than $800. Cooke Kinetals and Series II Panchros were built around the same time in the 1960s by the same designer, Gordon Cooke. Before we go any further, I would encourage you to watch 2 videos explaining both lenses in greater detail. My friend and cinematographer Robbie Fatt has a detailed breakdown about Cooke Speed Panchros on his channel. If you'd like to find out more about Cooke Kinetals, the video link will be in the description. Indeed, you can also watch my experimental short film shot with Cooke Kinetals, and a music video we recently shot with Cooke Speed Panchros. Robbie actually owns a full set of Cooke Speed Panchros. On a recent road trip, we decided to test our 25mm lenses against each other. This wasn't an empirical test though, as his 25mm Panchro is actually a Series III lens, which therefore won't answer the question if a 25mm Cooke Kinetal has an identical look to a Series II Cooke Speed Panchro. Additionally, we shot these comparisons on the go, which means changes in exposure and framing, so like I said, it's not exactly an empirical test. What it does provide, however, is a good look at the difference between a $500 Cooke lens with a $5,000 lens. Both lenses were tested on a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, which has a 2x crop factor. The most important thing to note up front is both are vintage cinema lenses. The properties of these lenses can be distorted over time by issues such as fungus, yellowing, and hazing on glass elements. Right off the bat, both lenses have the famous Cooke look. These cinema lenses pop the subject out beautifully in the foreground and create extra depth in a manner not found in other lenses. There is a quality to how these lenses render an image that can only be described as cinematic. However, the first and most obvious difference is each lens's coverage. The Cooke Kinetal has heavy vignetting on a Micro Four Thirds camera, while the Cooke Speed Panchro comfortably covers the sensor. Because you can see more of the Kinetal image circle, this also means you can see more distortions in the corners of the frame. Swirly bokeh is considered an imperfection by some, but also has a distinct character. The Panchro does not swirl its bokeh to this degree, at least to the extent visible on this sensor. The Kinetal is also considerably less sharp wide open, whilst also exhibiting a warmer tint and more contrast than a Panchro. The Kinetal was made for Super 16 celluloid, while the Panchro was designed to project onto Super 35. One thing the Kinetal gains over the Panchro is a faster speed. Almost all the Kinetal lenses are wide open at T2. The Panchros, however, are fastest at T2.2 or 2.3. Bokeh is what so many cinematographers look out for in a lens, and this is one of the most fundamentally obvious differences between these lenses. The Kinetal renders a smoother background, though its bokeh can have defined edges in some situations. The Panchro, however, renders point light sources with a more consistent spherical shape with a defined edge. Truthfully, I'm more of a fan of this look than the Cooke Kinetal, but it ultimately comes down to preference. It's entirely possible a Series II Cooke Speed Panchro renders the same bokeh as a Kinetal, but I have not yet tested them against each other. Cooke Kinetal and Speed Panchros are obviously not imitations of each other. They both have their distinct features, but ultimately both are still quality lenses. It's difficult to go back to using photographic lenses, which often have a flatter look, after using these cinema lenses. I would highly recommend anyone that thinks either of these lenses would be suited to their project and has an adequate budget to give them a look.